Hebrew is a creative language that has gone through many evolutions throughout history. This script does not have an alphabet, rather it has an abjad. An abjad is a script that only has letters that produce consonantal sounds, while the vowels are to be inferred by the speaker. What makes Hebrew a creative language is that even though each letter combines to make up a word, every letter is hieroglyphical in nature, meaning that every letter is a word within itself. When Hebrew letters combine to make a word, it seems that the meaning of these letters make up the meaning of the larger word. For example, Sabbath is just the name of a day when we combine these letters, but when you break the letters apart and interpret their meanings, the meaning of the greater word is much deeper. First, let's break off the tav and put it to the left. Sab tav. Now, sab means sit down, and tav means covenant. Sit down covenant. Now let's break shin and veit apart. Shin, veit, tav. Now shin means eat, veit means house, and tav means covenant. All these letters separated mean eat in your house covenant. The picture we should get is a day of fellowship with our family dedicated to the Lord. This is the meaning of Sabbath, the day of rest. Hieroglyphic Hebrew is the script Moses used to write the Torah. This is the oldest form of Hebrew and certainly the most mysterious. Some say that Hebrew is the language spoken from the beginning, although they say it was simply spoken word without an abjad until the time Joseph lived in Egypt. They say that Joseph, being the highly intelligent man that he was, created this abjad by translating an Egyptian hieroglyph into a Hebrew word, and taking that hieroglyph and assigning it to the word and making it a letter for whatever sound that the Hebrew word started with, regardless of the sound the hieroglyph made. For example, the word aleph means cattle. Joseph took the Hebrew word aleph and mashed it up with the corresponding hieroglyph, which was a picture of an ox head. So Joseph made a letter which was the hieroglyph of an ox head, and he called the letter aleph. Although if it is true that there was no Hebrew abjad before Joseph formed one, that means that Enoch, the seventh from Adam, who is credited as the first scribe, and is quoted in the Bible, that would mean that Enoch was never a scribe and never wrote his testimony, which was quoted in the book of Jude. Judge for yourself. Does Jude quoting Enoch prove that the book of Enoch that was quoted from is a valid testimony, or would Jude quote a heretical text as biblical doctrine? Some use the book of Jubilees to prove that Hebrew was the language of creation, which was lost when all the languages of the earth were confused at Babel, which God restored through Abraham. They quote Jubilees chapter 12 verse 25 to 27 to support this theory. And the Lord God said, Open his mouth and his ears, that he may hear and speak with his mouth, with the language which has been revealed. For it had ceased from the mouths of all the children of men from the day of the overthrow of Babel. And I opened his mouth and his ears and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Hebrew, in the tongue of creation. And he took the books of his fathers, and these were written in Hebrew, and he transcribed them, and he began from henceforth to study them. And I made known to him that which he could not understand, and he studied them during the 6 rainy months.